Hello and welcome back. Today we're trying to solve natural degree 1 equation, which is also known as a linear equation. So before we actually go into the actual equation, the example, we need to have the 5 steps that we need to follow on screen. You can always go back to this specific time to actually have them in your mind. Okay, so let's actually start with the example, which says that let's say we have the following equation: 2x plus half is equal to 3. Now we're trying to solve for x. What is the actual value of x? Okay, so first of all, we follow the steps step by step. So the first step says that you have to remove the fractions, and in this case we're going to follow that step because we do have a fraction we need to get rid of. Okay, if there were multiple fractions, we would have repeated this step multiple times. We have like one fraction, so let's just remove this. So we need to remove the 2 on the denominator side, and for that we need to have a 2 on the top side. That way they can cancel each other out. And the only way to get a 2 in this case is by multiplying the entire left hand side with a 2. And you can't just multiply the left hand side with something. You have to multiply the right hand side with that same number as well. So we do that with multiply it by 2. So again, when we're multiplying inside the brackets, we need to multiply on both sides. Okay, so we have the 2x and then we have the half, so we're going to multiply individually. 2 times 2x is equal to 4x, because like 2 times 2 is equal to 4, and the x just stays as it is, and 2 times half is equal to 2 by 2, which is just equal to 1, because they cancel each other out. Exactly what we were trying to do. We were successful in doing. On the right hand side, 3 times 2 is going to be equal to 6. Okay, so again we are going to be left with the following equation: 4x plus 1 is equal to 6. Now the second step is to remove the parentheses, and in this case you might actually see that we don't have any parentheses to remove. We had some parentheses, we removed them, and so the same thing applies. As I previously said, if you have a step that you're going to follow the steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the order that they are, but when you have for example, we have step 2 over here, which we don't have the need for, we're just going to skip the step and move on to this third step, which says to combine all of the like terms. Again, variables on one side and the constants on the other side. So we have x, so 4x is going to stay on one side, and 1 and 6 can go on the right hand side. So to remove the 1, we can subtract a 1 on both sides. So we do that, and we can get rid of the 1s, left with 4x on the left hand side. On the right hand side, 6 minus 1 is going to be equal to 5. Okay, so we are going to be left with 4x is equal to 5. Okay, so 4x is equal to 6 minus 1 again. Okay, oh yeah, so the first step was to actually simplify. I went ahead of myself and actually did the simplification in the third step. So the fourth step says that we need to simplify the equation. So once we have moved all of the variables on one side and all the constants on one side, we can start simplifying. 6 minus 1 is equal to 5. Okay, not much to simplify over here, and we are left with 4x is equal to 5. Now the final step says that we need to divide by the variable by the coefficient. Okay, so in this case that is 4. Okay, so we need to get rid of the 4 by dividing it by 4, and we can't just get rid of the 4 on one side. We need to, because we're trying to solve an equation and we don't want to change the equation, we need to do it on both sides. We do that, and on the left hand side we are left with just x, and on the right hand side 5 by 4. We can't simplify 5 by 4 any further, so this is going to be our answer. Okay, so what we have actually done is we have actually solved a linear equation in this tutorial. Okay, so that is all there is to trying to solve any linear equation. You just have to follow the steps and skip any that you actually find, like if you don't have fractions, just remove, just skip the first step and just go on to the second step. Go on to the parentheses. If you don't have parentheses, go on to the third step. Okay, that is how you do it. Okay, so that is all there is to finding out about to solving equations. Okay, so I already made this video quite long enough, so thank you for watching and really hope you learned something.